So hello everybody and welcome to today's video. Today my friends, I'm very happy to be back to present you another build guide on Vaal. I know it has been a long time, but here we are, and it's the first build guide of this league, and it is about our wall arc Templar Hierophant build. It is a very nice build, I can tell you already. Very nice to play and very simple to play. As you know me, I don't like piano builds that you have to click like 7 buttons at the same time. No, easy, you will see. We are not even using Flasks, so it's really cool. So as with all the other build guides, we are starting with the pros and the cons. Then I'm going to talk about the skill gems that I am using. Then we are going to talk about the gear and flasks, then skill tree remainings, then how I play this build, and then the section where the most people are interested into it is the gameplay, how this build works and how it looks while we are doing some maps. So my friends, let's not wait too much and let's start with the pros and the cons. So my friends, now we are starting with the pros. I mean, the biggest pro of this build is actually that it's very simple to play. We are just moving around with our right click lightning warp, and then we send out our arc. That's what we are doing for 90% of our maps. Also, we are activating Rider's Fire every time we start a new map, and that's it actually. Then at bosses we send out or we put conductivity on the boss, and yeah, as I said, it's very simple to play. As you know me, I don't like to play builds that are a bit or they feel like complicated or that you have to click too many buttons. So this is a perfect build to just chill out and farm some currency. The second pro is it is not very costly. I mean, I would say 30 divines max. Not even that, and you have this build together. Not even that. I'm even saying with 20 divines easily, if you have them, you can put all the whole build together, maybe even better than I have put it together, because this build, and I can tell you already, this build I have made it together or put it together with the minimum that you require to make this build feel good and that it works. Okay, so if you have more currency, you can min-max it to the moon. I mean, you can really go deep into the build, and yeah. Also, it is very nice to clear, and it has a very nice solo DPS on bosses. You almost one-shot the bosses. That's really nice. Also for Simulacrum, it really feels good, this build, since we send out a lot of DPS like solo DPS. Then on the cons, the build is a bit squishy. I mean, yeah, if you get hit, we are using mana as our life pool, okay? And yeah, also that you need a lot of mana regeneration to make this build work because of the Rider's Fire, so that we can sustain Rider's Fire. But yeah, it is a bit squishy. You have to avoid stuff, but if you play it right and you move around and you send out your arc, you can pretty much kill everything even out of your screen, so you don't get hit, but you will find out by yourself. I mean, it is a bit of a squishy build, but you never need to get close to your opponents or to the monster, so you should make it. Then another con, I can't really say. I mean, yes, as I said, the biggest con, it is really that it is squishy. Otherwise, it's nice, and it's a bit slow. Okay, if you're now used to have fast builds, as I said, we have always to stop and then to cast our arc. I mean, it takes 0.27 cast time, as you can see, every time. And then how fast are we? we are movement speed 27%, okay, like right now, right? But we are all the time our Quicksilver Flask like activated, and you can't forget that we are always like we can spam our lightning warp without a limit. So we are pretty fast actually, okay, but it can feel a bit clunky if you have to stop to cast and then to move whatsoever. It is a nice build, you will see. And now we are going to talk about the skill gems. So on the skill gems, what are we using? Actually, we are using two wands. On the first wand, we are using Conductivity 2020 and Faster Casting Support 2020. I mean, if you can get a 2120 or whatever, it is better. It is just that it doesn't change much, okay, whatsoever. This is the minimum we need. That's what you will see, okay, on the levels and the quality that I have. And then a portal, okay. So, and then on the other weapon, we are using Wrath, okay, 2020 with an Empower level 3 and an Eternal Blessing 2020. Then on our helmet, we are using Archon Surge with Archon Cloak, increased duration and enhanced support, okay. And then on our 6 linked setup, I mean on our body armor, we are using level 2120 Warlock. This is the biggest DPS boost for sure if you can have like your arc at level 21. It is costly, it is the most costly thing in our whole build that I'm using, that I'm using Warlock of 2120, okay. If you see the difference between the 2020 Warlock and the level 21 and 20 quality Warlock, it is enormous. I think it is 40 chaos for one and the other is 6 divides, but I think you gain around 20% more DPS. This is huge, okay. If you can afford it, go for it, okay. And then we are using Power Charge on crit, Awakened Lightning Penetration, increased critical strikes, spell echo support, and increased critical damage support. Okay, then on our Power of Gloves, we are using less duration support, lightning warp, faster casting support, and swift affliction support. Okay, I'm using level 18 because I don't have more dexterity to level it. And then we are using on our pair of boots minion life support with enhanced support level 3, divergent Rider's Fire, okay, important, Divergent Rider's Fire, and Anomalous Summon Lightning Golem, okay, because then we get even more buff effect, and that's what we are. That's why we are using the Lightning Golem, okay. So we want the Anomalous Summon Lightning Golem, okay. This was it with the skill gems, and we are now going to talk about one of the most important aspects of the build guides. That's the gear and the flasks. So now we are talking about the gear and the flasks of this build. It's very simple. I mean, our weapons, we are using 2 times the Void Battery Prophecy wand, as you can see, okay. What is the most important here? It is pretty much the increased cast speed, okay. You want it as high as possible, okay. The others, yeah, if it's I mean, if you have more global critical strike chance, better it is, but increased cast speed is very important, okay. And then we have the enchantment of Quality does not increase physical damage but grants 1% increase elemental damage per 2% quality. You can get it with blue life force, okay, from harvesting. Okay, it's 5,000, yeah, blue life force that you need per weapon, okay. We have it twice. Then we are using a Crown of the Inward Eye Prophet crown. I mean, with the enchantment grants 30% increased spell damage, okay. I mean, if you can afford a corrupted one with the implicit +1 to maximum power charges, that's jackpot, okay. But it's very, very costly, and to my knowledge there is none right now. Like online, I've seen offline this league there are a few, but online it has been a while. I'm checking every day. I'm not finding. Okay, so yeah. Then, as amulet, we are using that series foible power amulet, okay? And what is very important is to have a high increased mana regeneration rate, okay? Because this is one of it is the main source of mana regeneration rate, okay? So you want it as high as possible, and we are gonna higher the quality of life and mana modifiers, okay? So very, very important. And then we allocate disciple of the unyielding. Then as body armor, we are using Cloak of Defiance Lacquerate Garb, okay? Yeah. You want high increased evasion and energy shield and maximum mana whatsoever, okay? It doesn't matter that much, okay? But we have the enchantment. Quality does not increase defenses, but grants 1-2 maximum mana per 2% quality. I mean, mana is our main defense, okay? So we always want mana on our stuff. Then we have our rings. On one of the rings and on both of the rings, sorry, we want high increased mana regeneration rate, because otherwise I can tell you we can't sustain our Rider's Fire. Okay, we need a lot. So we have 82, 69, that's tier 1. And we have the quality 20% life and mana modifiers. That's why we have 82 at the end, but you really need it. We have it both, okay? One is 68, the other is 69. And then we want some mana on it and resistances, okay? So, and here we have some attributes, because otherwise you can't get the dexterity and the strength that we need for our gems and our stuff that we are using. Okay, but you want just the resistances, you want mana regeneration rate, and sustain your tributes to get the minimum that you need. As I said, this is the minimum, okay? You see, I have an iron ring, okay? The implicit is useless for us, but I am using the minimum, okay, on this build. You can pretty much go much far than I am going, okay, with this build. Then on our pair of gloves, we are using again increased mana regeneration rate we need with resistances and mana. Okay, and as implicit, we are using inflict lightning exposure on hit, applying 11% to lightning resistance. This is the lesser, this is the minimum. Okay, you can have up to -15. Okay, we are just going for -11. Okay, I didn't want to invest too much into this build. And then as Searing Exarch implicit, we are using 15% chance to nerf enemies for 4 seconds on hit. Then we are hitting harder, 10% increased spell damage on monsters. Okay, and then on the as pair of boots, okay, we are using high dexterity, something that we need. Intelligence is a bonus, we get mana from intelligence, really nice, but as you can see, it is the mana and the movement speed what interests us the most. Okay, and then we have as implicit, we have on one side the action speed increased, and on the other side we have increased on threshold. Okay, and then as a belt, we are using a Stygian Wise, but why we are using this one, or I have crafted it myself, we want tier 1 increased mana recovery rate. We need it. I tell you, those every time that I say that you need mana regeneration rate, you need it. If you're not going for it, you will see whenever you're using Rider's Fire, after 30 seconds, you will die in any map, okay? So we need increased mana recovery rate. Then we have a bit of life that was all bonus. I slammed it, okay, with exalted orbs. Okay, we were lucky. We have Flasks applied to you, have increased effect, what is really nice, increased stun and block recovery, really, and increased Flask effect duration. We were lucky on this Stygian wise, in my opinion, okay? And as I jewel, we are using mana, we are using lightning damage to spells, maximum we can get, okay? And yes, and as flasks, we are using we are using a quartz flask, okay, where we have increased duration. I think we are using it everywhere. Yeah, increased duration of at least 32% everywhere, okay. I think, yes, only on the sulfur flask we are going for reduced duration to get increased effect. Yeah, okay. And here increased movement speed during effect. Here we have a sulfur flask with increased effect and increased cast speed during effect. Then here increased duration again with increased cast speed during effect, and then here increased duration with increased critical strike chance during effect, and every time used when charges reach full. So we are not clicking on any of our flasks, so we don't need to think about it. And then as a City Swallow Urn, we are going for one where we get recover 3% of mana when you kill an enemy during effect, and then enemies united by you during effect take 9% increased damage, okay? So that's a very nice one, and you will see, you will find for not much money or currency. Okay, my friends, it was a bit of a long section, but now we are going to talk about the skill tree and the remainings. So my friends, on the skill tree and the remainings, we are starting with the skill tree. As Ascension, we are going for Hierophant, as it's written on the title. We are going for Divine Guidance, Conviction of Power, Arcane Blessing, and Illuminated Devotion. Then you just copy the points that I am taking, okay, everything. But as jewel, very important, we go for a Healthy Mind, okay, because increasing the reductions to life in radius are transformed to apply to mana at 200% of their value, what is really, really nice, since we rely more on mana than on life. Okay, and it's like multiplied by 200%, what is really nice. And then we have 20% increased mana, okay. It is a nice bonus, okay. Then, the cluster jewels. I will not talk much about cluster jewels, you just check them, okay. And as jewels, we are using 2 times like critical strike multipliers with lightning skills. You can have with elemental skills, you can have with spell damage skills, if I'm not mistaken, and while dual wielding. Okay, that's the 4 times, and the global critical strike multiplier. That's the 5. You want always to have 2 of those mods if you don't need the jewels to cap your resistances or anything else. And then increased maximum mana, what is really nice. On the other side, you see that's what we want, is a 3 times critical strike multiplier that we are using, and then decreased melee damage. Yeah, okay. It's useless, but yeah, I can't get a 4 model. That would be a bit too expensive for me. Then here we are using a Militant Fate, okay, where we are using the high Templar Dominus, okay, and what is very, very, very nice with the mods, increased elemental damage per 10 devotion and 2% to all elemental resistance per 10 devotion. Okay, so that's very important. And why are we using it? Because then we get the inner conviction with 3% more spell damage per power charge and gain power charge instead of frenzy charges. Okay, very important. And you just pretty much copy whatever you see here. Okay, you have the POE link, so you can do it as you want. Here again we have double critical strike multiplier with increased maximum mana, and we have also increased damage. And here we are using again critical strike multiplier twice with resistances and attack and cast speed, what is really nice, this jewel. And then as last on our 3, it is a Watcher's Eye, where we are using damage penetrates 15% lightning resistance while affected by wrath. You have another mod that is really nice if you can add it to, or you have currency for it. Let me see if I have it, or I can open it. Just a moment. Restore previous. Let me see, so that you see what you can go. Yeah, here it is. This is also a nice one. It is increased lightning damage while affected by wrath. But you can see it's 12 divines at least at the moment, okay? And this is the most important. You want this as 15%. Let me just see. Normally, it's going to be very costly. Yeah, 18 divines and more, okay? So, as I said, if you can afford, this is also a nice damage boost if you can go for a watches eye like this. Okay, so my friends, enough talking about the build. Now I'm just gonna tell you how I play it, and then we are gonna go for the most interesting section. Let's go. So my friends, how do I play this build? This is one of the most simple builds to play. Okay, I'm not talking about cast one damage taken builds or about auto bombers, but this build is really easy. I mean, the first thing we do always is we activate our wrath, and that's it. That's the only aura that we are using. Then when we get into a map, we click on Rider's Fire, okay, and it's activated, okay? Then on our left click, we are using Archon Cloak. I am on my middle button of my mouse, I'm using Portal. Then on the right click, Lightning Warp, yeah. So I am always like moving around like this, sometimes clicking on left because of Archon Cloak, but most of the time right clicking, okay. Then we have our wall arc on our queue whenever we have it, and we have it very often. This is like a huge damage, okay, that we are sending out, and it chains also 11 times, while arc normally just chains 9 times, so that's much better. Then summon Lightning Golem. The Golem is gonna die very often while you're playing, so we are just gonna like sometimes, if you think about it, okay, or if you remember it, you will just summon it. Then our arc, that's our main skill, okay, that means we are using, and then our conductivity, that's the curse that we are putting on bosses whenever we need to kill something that is a bit more tanky. So very easy, we go around and then we see monsters, we do our arc and we go on. You just need to click one time arc. We are using spell echo, that means it's gonna be activated twice, okay? So you just click one time and normally you kill everything. Only on bosses sometimes you have to click 2 times or 3 times, okay, my friends? And now we are gonna do one map so that you see how this build behaves. Let's go. So for our gameplay, we are using a colonnade map, tier 16, okay, with item quantity of 78, not more, and we are gonna go for Eater World with fortune favors of the brave. So let's go, so that you see how this build behaves. So as I said, we go in, we activate Rider's Fire, and we are good to go. As you can see, it is nice. Also, don't forget that our lightning warp also makes a lot of damage, okay? So very often it is enough if we just right click on the monsters, as you can see. Okay, I'm pretty much sure, like, until tier 14, if you want to farm with this build, you don't need to use even your wall arc, okay? You can do it with only your lightning warp. And don't forget to summon the golem. Okay, this was my fail. So let's do Legion. I mean, you will see also, it's not the fastest build, okay? I'm also very slow. I could be faster, okay? It's also a bit my fault, right? I could be much faster, but I just like to play a bit defensive and enjoy a bit the game. But if you want, you can for sure go much faster than I am going. Sorry that I am looting. Or you know what, I'm not gonna loot, this is taking way too much time for you. That's not what people wanna see here. You wanna see how this build is behaving, but as you can see, one click on Wrath and we kill almost everybody here on every monster. Vaal, Arc, you see, we kill the whole screen. Yeah, here we have to pay attention. Whenever we get out of mana, we need to get out of combat a bit so that we can like regain our mana, because as long as we are not full life, we are not recovering mana. If you don't have your Cinder Swallow activated. If you have it activated, then you can recover 3% per kill. Then it's okay. But as you can see, it is fast enough. For me, it is fast enough. Let's say it like that. For the costs of the build, it is nice, in my opinion. I also always like complete Simulacrum. I'm never doing, or I did once the boss after Simulacrum. I don't know its name now, but I killed it, okay? But it was very close, okay? So I wouldn't suggest you to do it every time, okay? So, yeah. So we completed the whole map, okay? You can go much faster, as I said already 10 times, if you want, but it is a nice build to play, in my opinion, and to farm currency at the start of a league, or even now, maybe for making another build, or even to min-max this build. This build is far from min-maxed, far from it, so you can go much higher or much better with this build. So my friends, I hope this build guide was nice. I mean, it was helpful for you, and maybe I convinced you to make this build or to copy it. So feel free and let me know what you think on the comment section. Don't forget to like, to subscribe, to see even more videos about Path of Exile. And my friends, stay safe and see us on the next stream on Twitch if you want to follow us or to follow me. And yeah, for the others, we see us on the next video on YouTube. Bye bye, my friends. Love ya.